Aunt Joan?
Aunt Joan. Well, my sister Joan was my godmother, and I was a flower girl at her wedding. And she was just about everything to me. She was a second mother. She was my best friend. And she was my sister. And I'm sure that everybody will probably say how funny she was, because she was. She was incredibly funny. And I remember many times when we would be out and she would say the most hilarious things. I remember one time out in St. Louis, we went out to dinner, she and I and my husband and her husband, and somebody that he was entertaining from one of these brokerage houses. And this man never even looked in our direction. And we were in this beautiful restaurant with a revolving dance floor, and this man, all he wanted to do was talk about business with Uncle Freddie. He was not paying any attention to us at all. And my husband was kind of doing his own little monologue about the roaches in the Bronx or God knows what. And all of a sudden, Joan turned to me and said, "Do you think this man is going to ask me to dance?" I said, "I don't think so, Joan. He doesn't even know we were alive," which is, God knows the truth. He didn't know we were alive. But she always had a way of saying the funniest things that would just like pop into her head. And she could always make me laugh, like uncontrollable laughter. And I don't think since she died anybody can really do that to me except for Mary Ann. She's probably the only other person that can get me hysterical like that. But she was lots of fun, and she was always so nice. And before she died, I really felt good that I could donate all those platelets to her, because you know, sometimes when you're the baby in the family, you think about the fact that you really can't do anything for anybody else. Everybody's always doing things for you. And giving her the platelets was something that I hope, helped her to live a little bit longer. And God knows, it's been almost 10 years, and I miss her every minute of every day.
Aunt Joan. Joan Boyce.
Oh, Joan Boyce.
That's what everybody says when they say that. Everybody gets stuck right there.
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck because there's so many great memories of Joan. Joan was she was universal in the family. You know, she was really she filled the role of matriarch very well, and she always had a good word. I guess the main thing I always remember about Joan is the going over to her house at Christmas time. And we always had to sing Happy Birthday to Jesus. And I remember the first time I brought Carol over before we were married, and she got such a kick out of all these kids around singing Happy Birthday to Jesus. Joni always had a laugh. She always picked you up. She was always so humble. I mean, she always was, the biggest jokes she told were always on herself. Good lady.
Aunt Joan.
It's hard for me to talk about my sister Joan. It shouldn't be, but it still hurts. She was my best friend. From the time I was a little tiny girl, she watched out for me, took care of me, made things easy for me, paved the way in school. People just had to hear that I was Joan Dwyer's sister, and they were glad to have me in their classroom. She never treated me like a pesky kid sister, always took me along with her and her friends. Just was not your typical sister relationship. We were best friends and always were. And right up until the last hours I spent with her, we were laughing and talking. She always made me laugh. She had a very funny sense of humor. She always encouraged me. But boy, if she thought I was doing something that she didn't think was right, she let me know in a big hurry. And I loved her, respected her, always enjoyed being in her company. She was the kind of a girl that if you went to a party, you really wanted to get a seat next to Joan, because she'd make you laugh, and she was fun, fair, never cruel, never belittled people. She loved her husband. She loved Freddie from the time she was a young teenager. She adored her children. But she felt the same way about my children. It was a really great thing. There was never any rivalry. Anything wonderful that happened to my kids, she was just as happy as I was. She never had any kind of competition like that. She was just as thrilled if one of my kids did something exceptionally well as if it had been her own. And they knew that, and they loved her that, you know, they loved her just the way they loved me. I miss her. Everybody misses her. She was kind, fair, everything good you can think of she was.